So I just want to say a few thoughts on the. I just watched episode 7 of The Last Dance.
The word retire means you can do anything you want from this day on.
Jordan delivers a 2 RBI single.
And if you don't get on the same level, then it's going to be hell for you.
Why you keep fucking up that play, you big fat head motherfucker? You should have laughed, you dumbass.
Finally, we've seen a new insight, which was the whole reason of this documentary, was to provide us with a new insight. We've finally seen that going into this episode, and we've seen that when it pertains to Michael Jordan and his relationship with his fellow teammates.
People were afraid of him. We were his teammates and we were afraid of him.
A big emphasis was on the fact that he pushed them, and some of the methods that he used to push his teammates were what could be interpreted as bully tactics, trash talking, being pushy, getting in people's faces, the prodding, the provoking. I believe there was one teammate by the name of Scott Burrell when Michael Jordan said a few times he actually tried to goad him into having a fight with him.
I tried to get him to fight me a couple of times, in a good sense, just to get him. Man, I'm tired of you picking on me. That type of mentality. I could never get. He's such a nice guy.
And then, you had a lot of his former teammates being interviewed on this documentary, and they were saying, well, was it not Bill? I think it was Will Perdue. I believe it was Will Perdue who said it.
Yeah, let's not get it wrong. He was an asshole. He was a jerk. He crossed the line numerous times. But as time goes on and you think back about what he was actually trying to accomplish, you're like, yeah, he was a hell of a teammate.
Now, so far I'd say The Last Dance has been highly entertaining from a perspective of I'm a fan of Michael Jordan. So you show me highlights of his career, I'll watch it all day. But if you want to talk about really removing the lid and showing the truth, I was a little bit underwhelmed with the series thus far. Until this point, until episode 7. And I'll say with episode 7, especially the last bit when Michael Jordan, he got teary.
Break.
What was the big reveal for me was the part where Michael Jordan said, however I was with these teammates, in terms of pushing them, maybe being a bit harsh because he had a goal that he wanted to achieve, and that was the end of it. The goal was the goal, and the way he looked at it, he didn't want anything to get in the way of that goal. But the one thing that really stood out in terms of some kind of real character reveal to me was, yeah, they're showing him to be an arsehole. But when he said,
once you join the team, you live at a certain standard that I played the game, and I wasn't going to take any less. Now, that means I had to go in there and get in your ass a little bit, and I did that. You ask all my teammates, the one thing about Michael Jordan was he never asked me to do something that he didn't fucking do.
That was the point in time when I said, this is kind of fair. When he said, I'm not going to ask any of my teammates to do anything I wouldn't do, then you can say to yourself, you know what? Yeah, he's super goal-oriented at any cost, like a psychopath. But if you want to talk about exploitation, I don't see exploitation. In my lifetime, I've had people say to me when I was younger, yeah, you know what? Go into that corner shop, go into that off-license and rob that crate of booze. Go and rob that crate of Budweiser. Go and steal that crate of Kronenberg. I said, no, I don't want to do that. No, just do it. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. Why don't you do it? Bruv, because you're moving to South London, just do it. Right. So you want me to go and do something where I'm probably going to get caught because this point is the late 90s. There's CCTV everywhere. You're the big hard man, the big tough guy saying go and do it. But you don't want to go and do that yourself. So don't tell me it's tough love. You're getting me to be a bit more streetwise. I've had situations where people say, go to this bank and put this check into your bank account. Or go to this travel agency, this exchange agency, whatever. Take this check and try and put it into your account. You get over $1,000. You get a leather jacket and you get a gold chain. And then you get respect. You'll get your respect and girls will like you.
And we'll split the money 50-50.
Why don't you do it? Oh, I can't, my account's fucked. Oh, guess what? I tried doing it and it bounced. But luckily the bank aren't going to They bank know what it's a scam, but they're not taking it to the police. They're letting it be. It's pretty dangerous. I'm lucky that that the bank didn't, contact the police. Why didn't you do it? Do you think I'm that stupid to do it? All right, but at the same time, it's tough love. You're getting me to toughen up and take risks because I don't take risks. But when the shoe's on the other foot and I say, why don't you put that fucking check into your account? You said you think I'm that stupid. So people will try and exploit you and tell you they're pushing your limits. It's tough love. They're getting you to come out of your comfort zone and expand yourself. But they're getting you to do shit that benefits them that they're not prepared to do themselves. Whereas Jordan took it to the highest limits. They showed clips of him in his younger days when he used to get in the 80s in the NBA. You used to get taken down.
Michael Jordan got taken out. He's hurt. And Jordan came down hard and is injured.
My biggest takeaway from this episode was it's not just a Gatorade commercial, If I Could Be Like Mike, the big smile, the marketing dream. The marketing man's dream come true, right? It's not just that. It's not just the Air Jordan, the cute Air Jordan commercials.
I got it. Boom! Look, Mom, I can fly. I like that, Jeannie.
Like Mike, if I could be like Mike. Oh, if I could be like Mike.
You're showing him. If you've read about this person, you know he wasn't really a pleasant guy, and I can understand when B.J. Armstrong said,
was he a nice guy? It couldn't have been nice. With that kind of mentality he had, you can't be a nice guy. He would be difficult to be around if you didn't truly love the game of basketball.
I understand that a lot of those teammates now, they're older, they recognize what they achieved on the strength of his genuine tough love, not fake, manipulative, exploitative tough love, but genuine tough love. If you want to call it tough love or just tough pressure, but it's a pressure to achieve a goal as opposed to a manipulation or an exploitation. So I can see how these teammates would have an interesting perspective looking back now, and at the same time, I can see how these teammates would still kind of, although they'd have nostalgic, warm feelings for their highlight of their career, they wouldn't necessarily want to be close buddies with Michael Jordan nowadays. Finally, at the end, what was very telling to me was when he said,
when people see this, they're going to say, well, he wasn't really a nice guy. He may have been a tyrant. Oh, well, that's you, because you never wanted anything. I don't have to do this. I'm only doing it because it is who I am. That's how I played the game. That was my mentality. If you don't want to play that way, don't play that way. Break.
In the middle of the recorded interview, he said, "Cut, stop." And I think that's partly, he does have tendencies, like it's very convenient to say, I'm just doing it to push people, but you're good at what you enjoy in this world. He enjoys basketball, and I'd say to an extent he enjoys defeating his opponents, basketball-wise on the court, and he enjoys lambasting or berating to some extent his teammates. If he despised it, he wouldn't do it. That's the reality. He likes to be the top dog on the team, and he kind of, I'm sure to an extent, he'd relish talking down to people. So does he have, I don't know whatever pop psychology terms you want to use, psychopathic tendencies, sociopathic tendencies, narcissistic tendencies? Yeah, to some extent. But I don't think he's through and through a nasty piece of shit. I think he's got that side to him. In regards to the crying, I think he's crying now because he's looking back. He has the benefit of hindsight. So he's looking back and saying, yeah, he was an arsehole. We can see it a bit more clearly now because he's out of it. If you asked him at the time, Michael, why are you being this way to your teammates? It'd probably just be like, well, if you want to make an omelette, you've got to break some eggs. And it would be about, that would probably be the extent of it. Don't ask me about my methods. Just, be aware of the fact that I produced the results. We've won 6 championships. So I think, whereas now, he looks back and it's more of an admission or a realization that he was an arsehole. And as much as he's got this psychopathic tendency to get the job done, at the same time, you got to remember he still loves the attention, the validation, the admiration, the adulation. He likes that whole, like, he's happy with that whole Gatorade image of himself as the smiley, wholesome, all-American guy. So the crying was mainly like, he kind of realizes, and it makes him feel a bit uncomfortable, that, yeah, he was a bit of a dick. There's always going to be an element of when you look back at profound moments in your life, it makes you feel emotional. Whereas I could juxtapose his crying with another pop culture icon's crying, the one and only Dustin Hoffman.
She says, "What are you saying?" And I said, "There's too many interesting women I have not had the experience to know in this life because I have been brainwashed." And that was never a comedy for me.
When he done the movie Tootsie and he had to dress up as a woman, but he wasn't a very attractive woman, so he wasn't beautiful, he wasn't getting much attention from men. Then he suddenly had this big epiphany about how, oh, there's all these great women out there. The evil media brainwashed him to be attentive to women that he was sexually attracted to. So now he realizes how all these fantastically, potentially deep and insightful, great content of character women, he'd overlooked them. Now he realizes, now he sees this kind of self-aggrandizing, self-congratulatory kind of, I don't know, passionate, intense crying, anger crying that Dustin Hoffman exhibited. That was a bit masturbatory. When Michael was crying, it was just more like a realization of, shit, I was a bit of a dick. But I don't think it was too gratuitous. It wasn't this kind of gratuitous, self-aggrandizing crying like the one and only Hoffman, the Dustin man. It wasn't like that. So yeah, that was my insight on episode 7, the 7th episode of The Last Dance. Finally, we did get some good insight and some good looking back.
Break.